5 minutes later.
Sly! Come in! Sly!
A lot of boring math later.
Sly! Come in! Sly! Do you read me?
Hey guys, my apologies for that porn level of acting I just exhibited to you all, but you know, I was thinking, kind of want to switch up stuff on this channel a little bit. Getting a little tired of the classic Let's Plays, I guess you could say. So I wanted to do something a little more different. So my idea was go back to some old games I used to play a lot, in this case being Sly 1. Do like a hour level retrospective where I play through the whole game, edit it out, and that's pretty much it. The rest will be in the video, but yeah, you know, I've been bored lately, so think of this more as an update too, an addition, but I think it's a good time for me to switch it up a little bit, get that creative spark going. That was a loud ass snap. And yeah, that's about it. So if you guys like these types of videos, tell me. If you don't like me, tell me. I don't, negative, positive criticism, both work for me, honestly, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, let me know in the comments, and hope you guys enjoy it. So here we are, Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. This game came out in 2002, I believe, so about 19 years ago. That's what makes this very interesting, because as you can see, in my opinion at least, the game looks quite nice. For a game that's 19 years old, I am playing this on an emulator, however I don't have any upscaling. Pretty much think of this as the PS3 version. The PS2 version obviously looks a lot worse, but still, if you want to be specific about it, the HD collection came out about 10 years ago. So for a 10-year-old game, with upscaling from the PS2 version, it actually looks quite nice. And Sly Cooper is one of the few games where it's a seamless transition from the main menu into a new game. I always found this very cool when I was a kid, because so few games would do it. Like, you press a new game and then it would load and everything, but with this game, as you can see...
Sly! Come in! Sly! Do you read me?
Yeah, I read you. Loud and very loud.
Sorry, I'm a little nervous. Trying to break into police headquarters does that.
Get over it, Bentley. You're safe in the van. I'm the thief here. I've got to steal that file from Inspector Carmelita Fox.
Well, count on me to be your eyes and ears, buddy. Got their security system totally scoped. To get inside, you're gonna have to go through that air vent.
All right, I'm going in.
And don't forget you got me at the wheel, Sly. All you gotta do is grab the file and get back to the van. We'll do the rest.
Just keep that engine running, Murray. I'll be down in no time.
Way to go, Sly. This is where Inspector Carmelita Fox stashes all her important files. I hacked into the police security mainframe and discovered this vault's combo. Try dialing in 937.
937. Yeah, Carmelita Fox is one of the main characters in this game and the series in general. And she has a very good voice actress. She has an extremely good one.
Nice job! You got it! If you come down through the fire escape and head through the parking lot, we'll be waiting in the getaway van.
Something interesting though is I believe Carmelita Fox has 3 different voice actresses for all 3 games. I'm not sure about Thieves in Time because I didn't really play that one too much.
You foolish raccoon. I've caught you red-handed.
Ah, Carmelita. I haven't seen you since I gave you the slip in Bombay.
Which reminds me, you need to return the Firestone of India to its rightful owners.
And I was gonna give it to you as a little token of my... Hey, you know, that bazooka really brings out the color of your eyes. Very fetching.
You think? This pistol packs a paralyzing punch. You ought to try it. Might snap you out of your crime spree.
And give up our little rendezvous?
Plenty of time for that once you're safely behind bars.
Love to stick around and chat, but I just dropped by to pick up this case file. I think you've had it long enough.
So this level is very popular in the speedrunning community for being fully skippable. You can pretty much jump from the roof in a particular fashion and skip all the way to the end here, completely ignore the fights. It's actually quite interesting.
Me, Raccoon!
But now that we've completed Paris in a very short amount of time too, the prologue's very
Once
short.
again, my gang and I had given Inspector Carmelita Fox the slip. I was surprised to see how well she took it. Finally, the secret police file I'd been searching for all these years. With this, I could avenge my family and regain possession of our most valued treasure. It all began when I was just a kid, bouncing on my father's knee. You see, I come from a long line of master thieves who kept all their secrets of sneaking and stealing in an ancient book. The Thievius Raccoonus. Anyone who read it learned to be especially sneaky, which is why we specialize in stealing from criminals. After all, there's no honor, no challenge, no fun stealing from ordinary people. You rip off a master criminal, and you know you're a master thief. Well, on the night I was supposed to inherit the book, 5 visitors came unannounced to our door. My father fought to protect us, but the gang of villains known as the Fiendish Five overpowered him and ransacked our house until they found the Thievius Raccoonus. Our family's manual of thieving greatness fell into their filthy hands. They tore the book into 5 pieces and split it up, each villain disappearing to the farthest corners of the world to commit dastardly crimes. Broken alone, I was dumped at the town orphanage. There I met 2 guys who became my lifelong buddies and trusted crew. Bentley, techno genius and strategist supreme, and Murray, part-time driver and full-time burden. Together we pledged to track down the Fiendish Five, avenge my father, and steal back the Thievius Raccoonus. I knew I was about to face the toughest test of my life. On this mission, I would either become a master thief like my ancestors before me, or fail and allow my family name to bite the dust.
So we have completed the Paris prologue.
I've already plotted a route to our first target.
As you can see, we have, well, you can't see, but there's about 5 destinations, including this one. And this is the very first hub of the game. And it's not my favorite, if I'm being honest with you. It's a good one. There's no bad hubs in this game technically, but this is one of the weaker ones for sure. And you probably noticed, by the way, from the cutscene, the art style in this game, it's almost very sharp. Like, not figuratively, literally sharp. Like, there's lots of polygons are very sharp. And that was actually what the art director was going for.
I've already plotted a route.
The road trip gave me the time I needed to study up on Sir Raleigh the Frog. As a young man, this hot-tempered frog grew bored of his life of luxury and privilege. On a whim, he tried his hand at a bit of piracy and found it to his liking. Raleigh, who quickly became addicted to crime, was brought into the Fiendish Five as chief machinist, where his evil tinkering genius rose to new heights. The last reported sighting of this mad machinist was off the soggy coast of the Isle o' Wrath, a small island uncomfortably situated in the middle of the perilous Welsh Triangle.
So here we are in the first hub, Tide of Terror. As I said, it's not my favorite one by any means, but, you know, it's still a good one for sure. So we're now getting into the main gameplay of this game, which is a, you know, pretty much generic platformer. But the level design is actually quite good.
Sly, I just spotted spotted something that's going to complicate the mission. See that nasty-looking gate? It blocks the only road leading into Raleigh's hideout.
No problem. I'll just use my climb move.
Okay, but remember, you can only climb on certain objects, like pipes and ropes.
Yeah, sure, and like that ladder there?
That is correct, but do not forget, Sly. You have to get close.
Then hit the circle button to grab it. Yeah. Relax, Bentley. I live for this stuff.
Yeah, and that's what worries me.
That's what worries me. Yeah, so Kevin Miller is the main voice actor for Sly. I've actually watched him on Twitch before. He streams sometimes, and he's quite good because as Sly gets older, his voice will obviously change. One of the main gameplay elements of this game, which is collecting clues and then unlocking them, so that you can unlock the safe at the very end of the mission. Some missions have safes, some don't. I did this, of course. It's not that hard to keep track of all of them. There's only a few missions that are somewhat difficult. Clues are only available in Sly 1 and 2. They took them out of 3. For whatever strange reason. I'm still not sure why they did that, but it's too bad because it was one of the most fun things, I think, about collecting clues, and any Sly fan would agree with you. So a big aspect of retrospectives is to look at not just the positives, but also the negatives. And one of the negatives I will say is the sound effects in Sly 1 a little too repetitive. You know, I probably have listened to the same seagull screech MP3, whatever, probably about 50 times in this one mission of 5 minutes. So, it definitely gets repetitive once in a while, and that's one thing that has not aged very well. So we just completed the first mission, I guess you could call it, the first entry point to Raleigh's hideout, and now we have entered the main hub.
That blimp looks like the most secured location on this boat. If Raleigh's really as smart as his police files suggest, then that's where I'll find him.
So as Bentley just explained, the whole aspect of these main hubs is to gather as many keys as possible so you can have access to the next hub. So there's always an entry point, the one we just went through. As well, you then gather all the keys and then unlock the next area. But this right here is a horseshoe, and this acts as pretty much a life.
Found a lucky charm. That'll protect you when you take any damage.
So if you have no horseshoe on your back and you take damage, you will die. You will die instantly. There's no health system. You may have noticed 3 little bars at the bottom right.
Better close those furnace doors. Jump and press the square button. That'll slam them shut.
Yes, Bentley. So you may have noticed 3 little bars at the bottom right corner. 3 little icons. And one of them is for the key, obviously which you need to progress. The second one is for the safe. And the third one is a time trial. And the time trials are actually more difficult than you may imagine. Here we gathered ourselves another life. So if you have no horseshoe and you die, then obviously you need to get a life back. And nothing actually changes. Pretty much if you lose all your lives in a level, you just have to restart the level again. It's not super punishing or anything like that. Sly 1 for the most part is I'd say it's a rather tame game, especially for the time it came from. Compared to some others, it's a lot less brutal and a lot less punishing.
You found it, Sly! That's the final clue to crack the code! Now find that vault and I'll give you the instructions to open it! Press the circle to enter the vault code. I can't believe I pieced this one together. Try 227. Sly, you found a page from the Thievius Raccoonus. This page teaches old Drake Cooper's fast attack dive move. Press the triangle button to use it.
So we just unlocked every clue, and as you can see, it gives us an ability we can use, which Sly will be using on his little adventure against the Fiendish Five. I personally did not use these too much. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't find Sly 1 needed it. Sly 2 I definitely used many more abilities, but yeah, I didn't see the need for to use it that often. And if I believe, I'm not sure how you, I'm not sure exactly how you switch, but every time you unlock a safe, after every level, it's always going to give you an ability, to my knowledge. And bottle collecting is less about abilities and more about listening to Bentley's voice lines, if I'm being honest with you. He's always so happy. He's always so proud of himself that he can unlock the saves.
Those rats got pegged.
Raleigh appears to have booby-trapped this entire place.
I'm gonna enjoy this.
Don't you get it, Sly? If you step on that rug, forget about becoming a master thief. You'll be a master dartboard.
Wait a second. What if I jumped into that barrel for protection?
I don't know. It looks pretty risky and very unsanitary.
Only one way to find out.
Another gameplay aspect introduced was the barrel. And the barrel, I don't think it's in Sly 2. I know for sure it's not in Sly 3. It looks interesting, but if I'm being honest with you, I always found that tedious even as a kid. It adds a little bit of fun to the gameplay aspect, but I think they could have done without it, honestly. Yeah, as you can see, it's very difficult to kind of fuck around and see if you can get lucky with it. You pretty much need the barrel. This may seem like something very small to most people, but the physics in this game were actually quite good for its time. As you can see me move around this barrel, you can actually see that the lamp or the chandelier itself is actually moving as well. Now you may be thinking, what a ridiculous thing to say that has no meaning. Of course games are going to have that. But for 2002, on the PS2, you would be surprised. It actually has quite good physics, the physics engine.
Sly, see that machine wheel? If my knowledge of mechanical engineering serves me right, applying significant rotational torque to achieve maximum velocity will yield a positive result.
You mean something good might happen if I can get the wheel to spin fast enough?
Isn't that what I just said?
Isn't that what I just said? Yes, Bentley, you would be correct. And this is another gameplay aspect. I know for sure they took this out of Sly 2 and 3, but it actually is quite fun, because the whole idea is to get across this room with hooks, and you get to determine how the hook gets to you by using this little machine. And there's other aspects of this implemented within the game, but I actually like this one, and I think it's aged quite well. See, you get a little bit of momentum going. Something that maybe the more artistic side of you will appreciate is that with each Fiendish 5 member, they have a theme to them, you could say. So Raleigh's a frog, and this is a Welsh triangle. So it really does feel like you're in the Welsh triangle. You know, it's always raining and everything. But something a little more inconspicuous is the type of enemies you deal with. So as you can see, this enemy, it's very squiddy. I mean, I think it is a squid. And this decor, this looks like an anglerfish, I believe. And the game does a very good job of conveying that theme to you, you could say. So you'll notice that too throughout the other worlds, that the types of enemies and the type of decor is very prevalent towards the Fiendish 5 member themselves. So you may be thinking, why is there only one icon for this mission? And you'll see very shortly, but this is one of them. I feel like this is very controversial. Some gamers who played Sly really liked this mechanic, some didn't. I actually did like it, but it was one of the more difficult ones. So as you can see, we take on a completely different sort of gameplay aspect.
Raleigh's gang of crabs stashes his sunken treasure. Use your sub to blast them. The left analog stick controls the sub. Give it a try.
As you can see, it's become an isometrics twin stick shooter.
Great.
And it's actually very fun.
Use the right analog stick to
Yeah, so this is another way to get the keys for this one. I struggled with this quite a bit when I was a kid, and I know most people did too. But believe it or not, it's actually not the most difficult mission that relies on this sort of control in the game.
Congratulations, you did it!
How delightful! We have a guest. The only thing is, I hate unexpected guests!
Listen, Raleigh. Wipe up my family and steal what's mine? You better expect company.
Oh, I'm ever so sorry. How sloppy of me not to finish the job. Obviously, we should have snuffed you out as well. So, without further ado, Let me make amends by what? Bloating to gargantuan size and squashing you like the insignificant bug that you are!
Bring it on.
Blast it all! You've beaten me! Well, gloat all you want, Sly Cooper. You're no match for Mugshot, my villainous cohort in Utah. You'll see. Mesa City is so well guarded, a snake couldn't slither in without setting off alarms.
Raleigh's section of the Thievius Raccoonus held detailed instructions on how to perform my ancestor Ryoichi Cooper's Ninja Spire Jump, a technique he developed while sneaking into the thickly fortified castles of feudal Japan. Finding a way off Raleigh's boat got a little tricky with the untimely arrival of Inspector Fox, who, failing to find me, busted Raleigh and his crew. With the storm machine out of commission, boats found their way back onto the ocean, and the mystery of the Welsh Triangle faded from memory. My gang and I loafed around England for a while, enjoying the pleasant weather, and then headed back home, excited for our next heist.
Not too bad at all. So yes, Bentley does give you the option to go back for levels. You probably will miss some clues on the first try unless you're specifically focusing on getting all of them at once. Also, Bentley, you can also watch cutscenes. That's pretty much the main thing he does. So let's move on to the second hub. I actually think Mesa City is probably one of the best hubs in the game. It's extremely good. It feels vibrant, it feels alive. I love the villain. I think you'll agree too.
It had been a while since I'd been back in the US. Next up, the notorious Mugshot. Ruthless muscle of the fiendish five. What he lacked in brains, he definitely made up for in brawn. Turns out he wasn't always that way. He grew up as the run of the litter. A neighborhood weakling. The only friends he could turn to were usually found on the big screen. It was there that he spotted his first gangster, and he knew instantly that that's what he wanted to be. He spent the rest of his youth working real hard to get there, fueled on his dreams of great power and respect. With enough perspiration, he realized that dream. He'd become a hard-boiled, street-brawling, tough-as-nails gangster, ensuring that he'd never be kicked on or pushed around again. So he's holed up in Mesa City, huh? I've always wanted to go to that thriving American boomtown.
Sunset Snake Eyes. Yes, oh yes, partner. I do love this hub. Yeah, so as I was saying, Mesa City is one of my favorite hubs in the game. It probably is my favorite. Maybe tied with the fourth one. So Bentley just introduced a brand new security mechanic in the game. As you progress through the game, the security will get tougher. So it really gives you that sense of progression, actually done right. And you'll notice that, like Sly was saying, example being right here, every time you defeat a Fiendish 5 member, you get a new move. Some of them are actually pretty cool. So here we are at another little mission. As you can see, it's called Murray's Big Gamble. As well, it has no clues and it has no time trial. So whenever you see this, you can probably, it's safe to assume that it's going to be a little different.
Murray is in position to make a run for this key.
Okay, so what do I do?
Provide some covering fire for him with that blasting station.
Sweet.
Use the left analog stick to aim and press the square button to fire.
I'll do my best.
This was actually not one of my favorites. There is this type of mechanic. There are missions like this, and it's pretty much a stationary shooter. and you have to escort Murray here. Big old Murray. Escort him to the next, to the key. And it looks fun, but it's actually not. In my opinion, at least. I think this is one of the worst minigames out there, compared to the twin stick shooter from Raleigh's Hideout, as an example. Because Murray may have 2 health bars, but it's still, you'll see that's going to be very difficult soon. Well, not very difficult, but it's going to be a little tricky to keep track of everybody. Because they'll be hiding, because you can actually deal damage to Murray. And the game wants you to hit stuff like these biohazard barrels and all that bullshit. So the game's working against you in this fact. Yeah, see? See, look at that. The game wanted to bait you.
All right.
Now, once again, we have another mission which has no clue bottles for time trials, so we can assume that it's a little bit different. And this one is, and I love these types of minigames. So there's only 2 of them in the game. This is one of them, and I'll show you what they're all about. It's a racing one. So it really takes a break from the platforming.
Murray, what's going on down there?
Well, I drove to this hot dog stand for a quick snack, and the next thing you know, I'm getting challenged to a race by these gangster dogs.
Is there a key in it for the winner?
Yeah, 3 times around the track for a key.
It's all you, man. Drive the van with the left analog stick. And if you manage to pick up any nitro power-ups, you can get a boost by pressing the square button. Go get them.
I'm on it.
Believe it or not, I would say this is the most difficult minigame in the game. Simply because if you don't get the nitro boost, and you don't do it perfectly, you will 100% lose, because the problem is you start in last. And the game's pretty cute. It shows you a bunch of Fiendish 5 posters and everything. The face on the hot dog is a developer, I believe. Kind of something they threw in for fun. See Raleigh over there. As you can see, I'm not making very much time. Even though I've gotten most of the boost, and I've taken decent racing lines, I would say. And yeah, they only give you 3 laps to do this. So we've made up 1 position, we've got to make up 3 more. You can hog the boost, by the way, if you want to, like, get by guys like that. But the Sly community I'm a part of, there's usually 1 person complaining about these almost every week. They're usually brand new to the game. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny because they just, you know, the controls are a little wonky, especially for 2021. But I still think it's fun. I still think it's a decent amount of fun. It takes a good break from the platforming aspect of the game. I think it's a good time. You know, it gives some variety. And this is something you don't see too often in games, where they try to think outside the box a little bit, vary it up for you.
Way to go, Murray.
We've moved on a little bit into Mugshot's hub, do another mission, and the reason why I like this mission, it's fully side view, as much as that is. So you can't actually move your camera forward at all. It's played fully from a, kind of like a classic 2D style side view, if that makes sense. And you can't really see where you're going, but it really just adds variety. I know I've been talking about that, that's been a large theme of mine throughout this whole game, has been the variety of the level design in Sly. But it really is, it doesn't feel repetitive, you know?
Well, 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 look who just walked into my crosshairs. Sly Cooper.
About time you showed up, Miss Fox. Was getting worried about you. Thought you took a wrong turn somewhere back in Paris.
The only one making wrong turns is you, Sly. I'd suggest you surrender before I paralyze you with my good friend, the shock pistol.
Now see, a girl whose best friend's a firearm's got issues. A little dinner, a little dancing. I think I can help you out.
Sounds romantic. As long as you don't mind dining in jail.
Nah, I hear the service is lousy.
Once I catch you, you'll know for yourself.
Yes. I think it's very, you know, a little bit cringe maybe, a little bit cheesy, but the back and forth between Sly and Carmelita, it's like a huge part of the series.
What? My boys have been yapping about some big mysterious dude running around cracking skulls and this is it? You're the monkey wrench in my operation? Some scrawny rat with a stick. Hey, wait a second. I seen that stick before.
Maybe when my father knocked your block off with it.
Your father? Wow. You're a Cooper? You know, that Thievius Raccoonus had a lot of nice pictures, but way too many big words.
So you don't mind just handing it over?
What? What, are you kidding? You break into my place, steal my stuff, trash the joint. I feel transgressed and violated. Let's rock.
Yeah, so the mugshot fight's actually, I would say, more difficult than you think. This is what I struggled with the most when I was younger. And I think it's just because of the fact he is absolutely relentless. He will just chase you. So the whole idea is to use all these mirrors to get him.
My beautiful gun is destroyed. This is impossible. A little pipsqueak like you, beating a big, strong bruiser like me? It ain't right. You want all of that stupid picture book? You're gonna have to go down to Haiti and cross paths with Ms. Ruby. And then believe you me, you don't want to be you.
Mugshot section of the Thievius Raccoonus contained an entry from my gunslinging ancestor, Tennessee Kid Cooper. His specialty was the rail walk and rail slide. Moves perfected through a lifetime of theft in the Old West. Getting out of town proved to be a little more challenging than getting in. Having just missed us, Inspector Fox went for the next best thing and dragged that canine steroid case off to jail. That was the end of Mugshot's gambling empire, and Mesa City's citizens soon returned home. While me and the boys, well, we enjoyed the rest of our stay in America, and then returned to Paris, ready for our next mission.
Another hub done. So we have completed both Tide of Terror and Sunset Snake Eyes. So now we're going to
get us to Haiti.
Now we're going to Haiti to go see Miss Ruby, who I think people are a little conflicted about Miss Ruby's hub. It has some of the best levels, but at the same time it also has some of the shittiest ones, so let's dive into it.
The third member of the Fiendish Five was the infamous voodoo priestess, Ms. Ruby. Born into a family of mystics, other children found her scary. Teaching herself to summon the undead provided what few friends she had. A career in crime allowed an adult Ms. Ruby to punish the world for fearing her as a child. Chief mystic for the Fiendish Five, her powers allowed them to break both the laws of man and nature at the same time. Yet despite the whirlwind success of her youth, she managed to slip into obscurity. Last known sightings claim she headed out of civilization and deep into the Haitian jungle.
So here we are in Miss Ruby's hideout, and get to use Tennessee Cooper's new super move, which is pretty fucking cool. I don't really like Miss Ruby's hub. I think it's because the enemies are very difficult. They have a very strange hitbox, as evident with this guy coming up. Yeah, see, it's you have to play it really to understand. But Miss Ruby's hideout's never been my favorite. I still like it more than God, look at these two. I still like it more than Raleigh's, but not by much. Yes, we are, Bentley. So Miss Ruby's main hub. I may not like this hub in general, but the main hub itself I think is probably one of the coolest in the game, simply because there's so many ways to access everything. Here we are in one of my favorite levels in the game, Lair of the Beast, and the reason why it's so good is, well, you'll see very soon, hopefully. It's pretty linear, there's nothing super special about it, except for one little thing specifically. And it's pretty prominent simply because the enemies, like I said, are very annoying in Miss Ruby's hideout. Very annoying.
Did you see those reeds move? There's something huge under there. You better get going.
Yes, there is, Bentley. There is something very huge underneath there indeed. But yeah, as you recall, I said that some of the best and worst levels in the game were in Miss Ruby's hideout. And this is definitely one of the better ones. And that's simply because of... Don't be shy, there you are, buddy. Because this turns into a chase scene where you have to go super quick to not get chased by our good friend here. I think when I was younger, when I was playing this with my cousin, she called him Fluffy, and I thought, I don't know about that one. I don't think that snake is very fluffy. Snake, dragon, whatever the fuck. I don't know what that is, but when I was younger and I was playing this for the first time, I thought, you know what? This would be fine. This level seems pretty easy for the most part. And I failed many, many times. But it adds a sense of urgency to really get it done. Here we have another mission with no clue bottles, no time trials. So as usual, it'll be different than the others. And this one, I do not like this one. I do not like this type of gameplay mechanic. I'll show you why. I think most people agree with me on this one. But Piranha Lake, as you may recall, I said... Yeah, it's a little frustrating. It's a little bit frustrating because you need to get all these lit, and the piranhas are very better than you think at evading you. The main problem is the 2 minutes, because as you can see, 20 seconds has already gone by. And I've done this level many times, obviously. So if you're playing this for the first time, you probably will struggle. Yes, once again, we have ourselves another very different style of mission. And this one, I actually like this one. It's a twin stick shooter, which you'll see, but it's not from an isometric point of view, it's a third person. It's a tiny bit annoying, to be fair. But like I said, it's nice to add a little bit of variety here and there.
Outfitted with some sort of high-energy cannon. Use the left analog stick to move, and aim the right analog stick in the direction you want to shoot.
The final mission we have for this hub is home down cooking. Down home cooking, pardon me. And I think most people hate this one. As you can see, I've had quite a negative tone about Miss Ruby's hub, and like I said, it probably is my second least favorite. The only reason why Raleigh's is probably not as good is because it's so boring. And Miss Ruby has many different missions which are quite different, but the problem is they're all so poorly executed in my opinion.
But we've got no choice. That ghost over there contacted me on Spectre Wave Radio, and we've cut a deal. He's promised us a key if you can whack 50 chickens. I guess he needs them to make a big pot of gumbo, but he's scared of the bob-toting roosters. Be careful, or they'll blow you to bits. Think you can do it?
No, I don't think I can do it, but we shall try nonetheless, because, well, we have no other option. So it's like, okay, kill some chickens. It's like, yeah, that doesn't seem like too big a deal. So you have 1 minute and 30 seconds to kill 50 chickens, and then you got these fucking roosters, which are running at you, kamikaze style, and they don't, you know, like, they're relentless, and they're gonna be constantly running at you. And no, you can't deal damage to them. See, I already died. I think this may be the most annoying mission in the game.
I could feel that Cooper vibe a-coming. Most distastefully bad juju.
Yeah, well, you give me the creeps too, lady. Cooking up an army of ghosts isn't a very neighborly pastime.
Oh, Sly. I see your mouth a-moving, but all I hear is blah, blah, blah. Well, if jaws need to flap, then let them flap. See you in the next world, Sly Cooper.
Yeah, so the Miss Ruby fight. The Miss Ruby fight is very cool because it's very unique. You'll see what I mean very shortly. But I like the Miss Ruby fight. I think most people do as well. It can be a little difficult at times, but it's definitely much more fun than something like Raleigh or some of the other ones we'll be doing. So that is not the part I'm talking about.
Come back here. You can't run away forever.
Quite true. Quite true. Why don't I have my servant Chumley escort you over here?
All right. What's the catch?
Oh, not much. Just a little game I like to play with all my annoying guests. I want to see how well you pay attention.
What do you mean?
Well, I'll unleash my mighty mojo magic upon you. If you repeat what I do, you'll dodge it just fine. If not, you'll get zapped!
A little voodoo, Simon Says, huh? Sounds easy enough.
Yeah, so as you can see, it's a rhythm game. It's actually quite a fun rhythm game, too.
You certainly got some rhythm, Raccoon. But it won't help you none if you're fixing to go after the Panda King. He's tough, with a capital T. If you go poking around his stronghold in China, you're likely to get poked back.
Yeah, well, if he's anything like the rest of you, I think I'll manage.
Ms. Ruby's section of the Thievius Raccoonus held notes for my pioneering ancestor, Slyton Common. His invisibility technique allowed him to steal from corrupt pharaohs and greedy noblemen. Right on schedule, Inspector Fox's arrival cued my exit. The production of zombies, made illegal in the World Peace Accord of '71, earned Ms. Ruby a life sentence behind bars. While the gang and I enjoyed a few weeks in the tropical sunshine, working on our tans in preparation for our next caper.
Another one down, Vicious Voodoo. Tide of Terror, Sunshine Snake Eyes, and Vicious Voodoo, all completed.
Plans to China have all been worked out.
Now we're going to China to go see the Panda King. I like this hub. I would say this is my second favorite hub in the game. If I'm being honest with you, it would go Sunset Snake Eyes, Panda King, probably the one after this, not to spoil anything, and then Miss Ruby, and then Raleigh. I think that's a fair assumption.
Travel plans to China have all been...
The road trip gave me the time I needed to study up on the Panda King. Born penniless, he was fascinated by the fireworks rich noblemen set off every New Year's. He spent a decade learning the art. But when he tried to offer his fireworks to the noblemen, they couldn't see past his shabby clothes and chased him away. Humiliated, the Panda King took revenge on those who shunned him by using the very tools of his art for crime. The Fiendish Five recruited him as their demolitions expert, and from then on, his explosive touch became feared worldwide. He's rumored to be perfecting some new firework technique high in the unstable Kunlun Mountains of western China.
I'd also like to give some props to the art director of this game for the title cards. I think the title cards in Sly 1 are the best of the 3 games, or the 4 games.
This looks like a good place to try out your new invisibility move. Hold down the circle button to drop out of sight.
Yeah, so we're at another Panda King mission here, and this shows off the move you got from Miss Ruby's hideout, and I think this one's actually very cool. I think this one is very fucking cool. So pretty much just go invisible. It's kind of a neat mechanic, and you can use it throughout the whole game, so not just this hub, I don't believe. But I think it's pretty cool. I also like this mission specifically, because it has a lot of verticality to it. It also has one of the more interesting rooms in the game, in my opinion.
Freeze, Raccoon!
How can I freeze when my heart warms at the very sight of you?
Shut up, Ringtail. I don't know what you're doing here in China, but I'm sure it can't be good for whoever owns this place.
You must only have eyes for me if you're too blind to see what's going on around here.
All I see is a pathetic thief who's escaped justice for far too long.
I'm proud to be a thief, especially when I'm stealing from a vicious extortionist like the Panda King. Open your eyes, detective. These quaint temples are a front for an illegal explosives factory.
Don't try to confuse the issue. You criminals are all the same, and none of you can escape justice.
Yes, yes, Carmelita. Always with this justice. Very typical cop attitude type thing. But yeah.
I see you carry Kane of notorious Cooper thief clan. Have you come here for revenge? To steal back the Thievius Raccoonus?
That was my plan at first, but now I'm more interested in putting an end to your avalanche extortion racket.
Why should you care if I bury a few worthless village in snow? You are a thief, just like me.
No, that's only half right. I am a thief, from a long line of master thieves, while you're just a frustrated firework artist turned homicidal pyromaniac.
Insolent child. You shall pay dearly for your disrespect. Still, to honor your Cooper ancestry, I will send you to your doom with the beauty of my new firework technique, Flame Foo.
Yes, Flame Foo. Not corny whatsoever. So this fight's more like the Raleigh fight. Yeah, it's more like the Raleigh fight, where he'll change up his moveset, you gotta move towards him. It's not my favorite boss fight, but it's got some cool moves.
Booming chop! Your skill with that cane is unparalleled.
Sly! I did a cross-analysis of the metal used in that high-tech blasting vehicle, and it turns out it can only be found in one place. The Racconus volcano in Russia. That's got to be where we'll find the 5th member of the Fiendish Five. So get what you came for and let's get out of here.
Retrieving the Panda King section of the Thievius Raccoonus gave me a chance to learn about my technically minded ancestor, Otto Van Cooper. Not known for his physical dexterity, Otto relied on vehicles to aid him in his criminal endeavors. Armed with his designs, I was sure Murray would be able to make some cool modifications to the team van. A frustrated Inspector Fox, having missed me coming down the mountain, threw the Panda King in jail, thus putting an end to his avalanche protection services and ensuring the safety of mountain villages throughout China. My gang and I took a little time off and did some shopping in Hong Kong. Thoroughly relaxed, we headed home to plan our next move.
Okay, partner, this is it! A trip to Clockwork's lair!
Yes, the final mission of the game, the final hub, takes place in Russia, and you'll notice that this hub is very different because it's very linear, and this is why most people don't really like it too much, including myself. I still find it better than Miss Ruby and Raleigh, though, simply because it does have a good amount of variety because it's so... You'll see what I mean.
Okay, partner, this is...
We were on our way to the Krakara volcano in Russia. While looking over what little information I had on the final member of the Fiendish Five, I began to notice something. In the 4 parts of the Thievius Raccoonus recovered so far, several of the pictures depict a shadowy owl-like figure, which looks very similar to the police images of the mysterious clockwork. Is this a strange coincidence, or is there something I'm missing?
Hey, Sly! The road to Clockwork's fortress is blocked. Do me a favor and shoot out that. Whoa!
I'm actually going to change the controls, but as you can see, it's quite different right off the bat. And, let's see, up should be fly up. I don't know why these are all inverted. Very strange.
Oh, check out all those mines! Think you can blow them away and clear a safe path for us?
So the idea is interesting, because it's a change of pace, definitely. But I probably would have preferred this to be a normal hub. Because, you know, a volcano, that seems like a fucking cool-ass idea for a hub you could jump around and everything. And they will, by the way. Yeah, so there's 100 and, so this is kind of similar to the, I would say, the Piranha Pit in Miss Ruby's Lair, I'd say. But I like this one. I think it's a good amount of fun. Pretty much you're gonna be competing with these slime things, and you want to batter them away. It's pretty hard to fuck this one up, I'd say, unless you were really not focusing. Because they come down, they take a while to respawn. It's not that difficult. I'd say this is quite easy, actually.
Careful, Sly! Those tiles are booby-trapped! You better get out of there!
Hold on. That's Carmelita. She looks trapped.
Serves that cop right. She's been dogging us from the start.
It's just a misunderstanding. We've got to free her.
Are you crazy, Sly? Clockwork probably stuck her there to trap you.
But if I don't do anything, Carmelita's doomed. Besides, stealing just won't be any fun without her.
Sly, your ridiculous raccoon logic sends shivers up my shell. But if you're determined to go through with this, that barrel will undoubtedly help, though I have no idea how you'll get up there.
Dude, a spire jump here, a rail slide there. I've done this a million times.
So this is rather interesting. This is one of the few levels. In fact, there's only 2 levels in the game that make use of the barrel mechanic. And this is the second one. The first one is when they introduce it in Raleigh's Lair. Kinda wish they used it more, but at the same time I understand why they didn't. Because they have so much variety anyway. Yeah, so that little clock tower thing, clockwork barrel shooter, whatever this thing is called. It's gonna be pretty frustrating if you don't have the barrel. In fact, it's gonna be plain impossible if you don't have the barrel. I have seen some people do this speedrunning though.
I don't get it, Cooper. I've hunted you for years, tried to throw you behind bars, but when you get a chance to leave me in a cage, you set me free. Why?
Carmelita, we may be on opposite sides of the law, but you're not my enemy. Now, the homicidal robotic owl that built this death ray and nearly gassed us to death, that guy's on my list.
I see your point. All right. Until Clockwork and his evil schemes are destroyed, I suggest we work together.
Together at last. Huh, wait, I need that cane. It's been in my family for generations.
Don't worry, Ringtail. I'll cover you while you get it back. If you can, make your way to the top of the death ray. I stashed my jetpack there before Clockwork nabbed me.
Now that we're a team at all, I hate to leave your side.
Hold on. This truce is only temporary. Once we beat Clockwork, I'm coming after you.
Really?
Well, maybe I'll give you a 10-second head start.
You may recall from the Panda King video, or the Panda King thing. Yeah, see, I already fucked it up. This is the most difficult gun minigame, I guess you could call it. Definitely. Simply because the slimes are extremely aggressive. The cool thing is, though, you get to play as Carmelita, so that's always a plus. But yeah, they're very aggressive. Very quick too. So it definitely adds an aspect of go fuck yourself.
There's Carmelita's jetpack right where she said it would be. The magnetronic support field for the death ray got destroyed as you were making a run for your cane. You'd better hurry, this whole thing is about to fall apart.
I'm on it.
Yeah, so this is the final mission in the game. It's a fun one, great little climax. It's got a very nice minigame at the end of it too. Keeps it nice and exciting.
It's sinking fast! Climb, Sly, climb! Okay, that jetpack is easy to fly. Use the left analog stick to aim and steer, and press the square button to fire its rockets. Sly!
Yeah, so this is another cool aspect of the game they introduced.
Sly Cooper, you have escaped my gas chamber and destroyed my death ray. Remarkable. You Coopers always find a way to beat me.
Always? So that was you in the background of all those old pictures in the Thievius Raccoonus. How old are you?
Perfection has no age.
What? You're immortal?
Revenge is the prime ingredient in the fountain of youth. I've kept myself alive for hundreds of years with a steady diet of jealousy and hate, awaiting a day when I would finally eclipse your family's thieving reputation.
Sly! My missiles don't hurt him but seem to create holes in his armor. Shoot into the gaps I create!
So yeah, this is a cool little aspect of the game. It's kind of like another twin stick shooter type thing. Kind of reminds me of like a... It's actually really hard to compare this to anything, I'd say.
Raccoon. I am Blue 7. Flowers. Lava Tomb. Lay. Feet together. I will live. Cooper! You will never be rid of me. Clockwork is super.
It took some tricky maneuvering, but I managed to snatch that last piece of the Thievius Raccoonus from Clockwork's claw. I had taken down each member of the Fiendish Five: Raleigh, Mugshot, Ms. Ruby, the Panda King, and finally Clockwork. I'd beaten them all one by one and reclaimed my birthright. Of course, there was no way I could have gotten here without the help of my pals. I know this hasn't been easy for them, yet they stuck with me through it all. Murray, boy, it took a lot of guts for him to get out in the field with me. I know he was scared, but he's got more heart than anyone I've ever known. And thank goodness for Bentley. Without his expertise, I'd have never found my way off that rooftop in Paris. A guy couldn't ask for a better gang of friends. Who could ever forget the lovely Carmelita? Looks like we're not going to be friends anymore. Now that Clockwork's death ray is out of commission, we're back to playing cops and robbers. I thought for sure she was going to slap the handcuffs on me right then and there. But instead, she was true to her word and gave me that 10-second head start. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2... One. I felt bad leaving her stranded on that giant rock, but I knew it wouldn't be long before we'd see each other again.
I hate to tell you this, Sly, but the Thievius Raccoonus isn't fully restored. You're gonna have to go back and unlock all the vaults to find the pages you're missing. There is some good news, though. A friend of mine in Japan just sent me this really cool movie. And guess what? It's all about us!
いやー危なかった。ま、カルマリータちゃんには悪いけど、今回も俺様たちの勝ちだ。このデータファイルがあれば、父ちゃんの仇が撃てる。あれはまだ俺が子供の頃だ。よく父ちゃんの膝の上で遊んでたっけ。俺様の一族は代々伝わる義族の家系。そして受け継がれた技をまとめたのがこのラクーナの秘伝書。その洗練を極めた忍びの技だが、そこには必ず守らなければいけない厳しい掟があった。義族たる者を名誉にかけて狙うは悪党のみ、善人からは奪わない。ところが俺様が秘伝書を受け継ぐことになった夜、突然5人のギャングがやってきた。奴らは俺を守ろうとした父ちゃんを、そしてとうとう見つけ出してしまったんだ。大切なラクーナの秘伝書を。奴らは俺様の全てを奪いやがった。きっと中に書かれた技を使って悪いことをしでかすに違いねえ。そして俺様は一人ぼっち町の孤児院に入った。だがここで素晴らしい仲間に出会ったんだ。天才発明家、頼れる相棒ベントレー、そしてマーレ。食いしん坊でちょっとドジだがまあ憎めない弟分さ。仲間と一緒に俺様は父ちゃんの仇を討ち、そして秘伝書を取り返す。クーパーの名前に恥じない義族になれるか、それとも失敗してご先祖の顔に泥を塗るのか。さあ俺様たちの運命はどっちだ。
And there you have it. That's gonna be it for Sly 1, Thievius Raccoonus. You know, I forgot how much I like that game, but at the same time, a lot of the aspects of it, some aspects of it have aged not so well. I know that seems like I'm being hard on it. I think it's because I haven't played the game in about 10 years, if I'm being honest with you, 2011. So it's hard for me to really give a proper... It's hard. Like, I think back then, I liked it more. It has aged very well, though. Like, it has aged. I don't expect anything of it or anything. I'm happy I played through it again. It's a good game. Is it my favorite Sly game? No. Sly 2 is my favorite. No, I think it's most people's favorite. But I actually did like Sly 1 more than Sly 3. I'm not going to get into it in this video. But, you know, I'm happy I did this. I'm happy I did this retrospective. It's good to go back, think about the games we liked when we were kids in our childhood and everything. And it's important, I think, to go back and play them because games these days, not to sound like I'm out of touch, I feel lack character sometimes. And I think a lot of people agree with me on this. So I'm glad I did this, you know? And if I persuaded you to play Sly, whether it's get the HD collection or emulate it or whatever you do, then I'm happy. Because even though it's pretty much been a dead franchise for 13 years now, maybe even longer, 16 years, I'm not sure. It's still a great series, and it'll always be one of my favorites, and for good reason, and today just reminded me. But yeah, that's about it. That's all I'm going to do for this retrospective. If you do like retrospectives, I probably will do some more. There's a couple other games I got in mind, you know, a couple other ones. But these take a little longer to make, because I got to play through the whole game, got to edit it. So don't expect these every day, obviously, but what matters is if you enjoyed it, and if not, tell me why. But yeah, it's going to be it for me, guys.